Thank you to Mikyx. Obviously very tough to do a losers interview, but let's take a look at what Mikyx had to say after the loss versus Damwon Gaming.
And thank you, Dracos. Laure here, joined by Mikyx. Mikyx, first off, thank you very much for joining me. I'm so sorry things didn't go your way today. Do you have any first words about this series and why do you think it went this way before we go more deeply into things?
Well, I guess I can say that they played much better. And yeah, compared to scrims, we were playing much worse at least. Or maybe Damwon was just like that much better than all the teams we played against in scrims. But yeah, it felt really hard to actually play. And I was also kind of just running it like the games we lost. So yeah.
Don't put too much pressure on yourself. I mean, I know it was a difficult game. We knew how strong Damwon could be. And okay, do you mind if I mention scrim results now or not? Because I have a few questions about this. I heard you were dominating the past few days, playing against Chinese teams mostly. So do you think the fact that you played against maybe Suning or Top Esports, I don't know, maybe trips you off coming off against Damwon in the sense that they play so differently?
I mean, it could be, maybe we got fake confidence because, yeah, I think we were winning like 60% of scrims, which usually is not the case at like the later stages of the tournament. Like, for example, last year when we played like IG and FPX in scrims, I think we maybe won like 20% or 30% or something like that. So it was like much better than last year. But yeah, I mean, I think their players were just playing worse in scrims. Maybe they were limit testing, but yeah, every lane just got advantages and it was just easier to play the game in general. But yeah, Damwon just played like all around really well, every individual. So yeah.
How did you prep against them? Because watching the series against DRX, for example, I don't feel like we've seen enough from Damwon. I don't feel like we've seen enough from Damwon even in group stage. Was it something you were also thinking coming into today's series?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of weird because they were kind of just stomping everyone. They did make some mistakes, but yeah, I mean, we just kind of tried to look at their most recent series, like against DRX, and try to pick out stuff from there. But honestly, most of the stuff were just like, yeah, they're playing well, and yeah, they were just too good.
Yeah, they look unstoppable now. I feel like the trophy is going back to the LTK this year. But okay, that's another topic. Talking about G2 as a whole, you changed a lot throughout the tournament. I mean, I don't feel like we've seen not anything, but a lot from you guys in group stage, for instance. And the series you placed against Gen.G was so explosive. So tell me about the improvements you guys made throughout the tournament that led you to have the spot you had today.
Yeah, I mean, I think throughout the tournament, I think we just got better as a team around playing with 4 meta junglers, which are Graves, Lilia, Nidalee, Kindred, I guess, and playing more around jungle camps and invading together and just, yeah, playing around jungler more instead of him playing for our lanes. And I think we're pretty bad at it at the start, so I was pretty impressed with how good we got at it by the end, because we were like really bad at it, like even in groups, we were kind of terrible. So in a short amount of time, we got pretty decent. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of it, yeah.
Looking at G2 as a whole, I mean, from the beginning of summer to this run at Worlds, given the fact that you had to adapt to a very different meta, as you mentioned, I think it's huge, honestly. So what did you learn this year, and especially at Worlds, that can help you maybe next year in the LEC?
I mean, I guess we learned how to play around jungle more. I think we could also try more of our individual strats, I guess, because we were also trying out stuff like not the 4 junglers and stuff like Volibear. I think we played once in groups. And Set, we played a lot in EU. We didn't really play it much here. But we started playing it a bit recently and didn't look too bad. We just kind of stopped playing it because at the start we were getting stopped by a lot of teams. So we were just like, yeah, we're losing with everything, so might as well copy the rest. But yeah, I mean, not really sure what particularly we learned, except, yeah, just playing around jungler better.
Yeah,
and playing more as a team.
And playing differently as a team. That's how I would sum it up, at least. But talking about your role, for instance, I know we mentioned a lot of the jungle, but in the drafts, usually, we've often seen the last pick being left to the support, and we've seen how diverse the support meta could be. So what is your take on your role within the World Championship, and maybe the Leona pick, because it seems to be a bit problematic?
Yeah, I mean, I think most of the time support gets to go last, and
Yeah.
Leona does seem pretty decent. Personally, I think if you have tenacity, you kind of just don't care about her unless you get snowballed on, which we did. And game 1, I kind of just ran it down before I even hit level 6. So I think if I just go even with Leona, I'll probably outscale her. And that's just kind of how she works as a champion. She kind of gets outscaled, but she's really strong mid game, which they got a pretty big early lead on. And yeah, I mean, just usually the AD carries are kind of the same, like Jhin, Ashe, Ezreal, whatever. So
Yeah.
the one who gets counterpick support usually has push on the lane, and then that means you can play around your jungler better,
Yeah.
around their camps. So
And this is why, I mean, draft is so important in this meta. But taking a step back and focusing on the teams that remains at Worlds, I mean, you are among the 4 best teams in the world, which is not nothing, honestly, given that the level teams have displayed at Worlds this year. So how can you compare this to World Championship 2019, for instance? Maybe talking about LCK, LPL. I don't know if the LPL looks as strong as last year, for instance.
yeah, I mean, personally, I don't think LPL is as strong as last year, at least scrim-wise. As I said, we were getting really stomped last year at this point, and now we're kind of winning against LPL teams. LCK is for sure stronger. I think even DRX was a strong team, at least when they played against us. But I guess they played much worse on stage. At least their bot lane did. I think they lost like a lot of lanes. But yeah, I think overall the level is probably higher. I think everyone plays better as a team. It just feels like LCK is probably better than everyone right now. So,
Yeah.
or at least Damwon.
I kind of agree. Yeah, Damwon seems to be like one step above the rest. Do you have this feeling that, I mean, yeah, of course, there's Damwon and then there's the rest of the LCK team, but I feel like Damwon is the perfect mix between the old LCK and the aggressivity that you have from the LPL combined. Does that make sense?
Kinda, yeah. I mean, I think they just play pretty slow in terms of they don't make many mistakes. So, for example, the second game where we didn't do much and they were kind of making plays and we reacted mostly, it turned out pretty good for us. But when we were trying to force plays ourselves and they were just, punishing our mistakes because we overreached, then they just kind of snowballed really well and didn't leave many openings. So, yeah, I can see that there.
Yeah, we talk about Damwon, but okay, let's talk about the other opponents you faced. Any bot lane you will remember from this Worlds tournament, maybe?
From this Worlds tournament specifically, I think Deft and Keria were probably the best from scrims. From stage, well, I guess Damwon bot lane, or I think even TL bot lane played pretty well. And obviously Fnatic bot lane, I think they performed probably the best. But then again, I think top esports bot lane is not very good. So they had kind of an easy job, or at least their support. But yeah, I'll probably say Deft Carrier were the strongest I've faced this tournament.
All right. Well, I'm going to let you go soon, Miky. But before that, I want to thank you for this year with G2 for everything you did. On behalf of all the EU fans, you made us dream. And I mean, even today was an amazing series to watch, even if it didn't come out the way you expected. So first off, thank you, really. And is there anything you would like to add and say to the EU fans that have been cheering for you? And also to Dracos and Frosk, because they will be listening to this one.
Well, first of all, sorry for hinting. I think I was playing really bad today compared to the previous games I've had this Worlds. And yeah, I think thanks for cheering for us. We got a lot of support overall on, everywhere, Twitter, whatever. And better luck next year, I guess.
Yeah, Hakuna Matata. In the end, thank you, Miky. Thank you so much for the interview. I'm looking forward to seeing you again next year in the studio. Hopefully things go better in Europe. But yeah.